Welcome to the Loveland Report and Loan Arranger Show. I am Cleve, Loveland, Central Florida's voice of real estate, as heard every Saturday here on WDVO for the last 30 years, alongside the Loan Arranger.
That's me.
Loaning money out. I just walked by the safe. It was stacked high with money.
Money's coming out of that thing and falling out.
You get a customized silver briefcase, just like you see on Miami Vice. You carry your money around in, take it to closing. But interest rates, we're going to talk about those. We're going to talk about the market. We're going to talk about inventory. I want to dive into inventory and what that means, like on a personal level for sellers and buyers.
Let's hear it.
And then access to a property, how you make sure you get the most showings. And then why not buy owner? Let's talk about that later on in the show. So
buy owner, like for sale by owner, you mean?
FSBO. So we will talk about that. What happens with that and what goes on. What do you got, Bruce?
Well, we want to talk about interest rates. We want to talk who's buying and refinancing in the market, who is ripe for refinancing, and what are the strategies to take when it comes to making sure that you're ripe and ready to go for refinancing. Who should do that right now? And who is being taken advantage of in the market? I am seeing some scams going on out there, and I think people need to be aware of it. So it is something that we have to be well aware of.
So, and where are we at on rates? I've seen the bond market doing a little better. Have they settled?
Bond market's done well. I think the average rate came down to right about 5.9999,
which is the best in 4 years, right?
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I'm super excited about it because it's causing people to get back in the market much more actively right now.
Well, you talked about how there's less 3-something mortgages out there than there are 6-something mortgages.
That's right. There's less mortgages under 3.5% than over 6%.
And that's because people either paid the property off or they did sell. Life happens.
Could be any number of things.
The 5 Ds are going to go on. That's why we have jobs. When people, let's do it in order. Diamonds, getting married, diapers with the baby. I guess that could come in either order. Depends. Might be a shotgun wedding. We got downsize, divorce, and then death. Those 5 Ds there. All that stuff still happens.
Diplomas they put in there.
Diplomas?
Diplomas.
I guess if they get a better job. But I think it's the downsize or the upsize. So, but the market is moving in Central Florida. And it's funny. I saw you and I you took me to an event with a national training coach, and I saw some of the stats there. And one of the things that stuck out to me was nationwide inventory is up. Central Florida, we're down the past 7 months.
Yes, we are.
And that's a good thing. Our sales are beating last year, whereas the rest of the country is still kind of in the blahs. And I'm seeing more articles about big cities with prices falling, where we've been flat for probably about a year and a half. Kind of depends on what kind of house you got. I just had somebody bought 3 years ago. They are about flat in the neighborhood they're in because there's still 2 builders around them.
So, but you listen to this. So you're right. So in the last 3 years, I'd say we're pretty flat. Wouldn't you agree? And some people even went down after COVID for a little bit. But here's the stats that came out. Over the last 6 years, real estate has gone up nationally 65%. So you're up. You're
that
up.
Much, really? Okay.
That's it. Right. You're up. I saw the stats. You are up from where if you're short term, you didn't make any money. But if you're long term, you made great money.
Well,
now,
so it
went up and then dropped by about 4%. So at the end of the day, if you bought 5.5 to 6 years ago, you're up about 61%.
Yeah. No, so and that's like being in it. But if you're a renter, you weren't in any of that. I just talked to somebody, and I had a client, they're fussing about buying an older home and it needed a bunch of work, but they wanted this area, this school district. And they literally got out of the game in 2019, haven't owned a house since then. And I'm like, well, you just missed the greatest appreciation in the world. If you want a house in this area, it's going to be this old. It's going to have stuff like this. It can be fixed. There's a dollar amount. Get back in the game. Stop throwing away rent.
That is the best advice to have. However, if you didn't do it, now is the right time to do it. Yes. So don't kick yourself and go, I didn't do it. Now I have to wait for rates to hit 4 3/4. They're not going to hit 4 3/4, folks. That's not going to happen. As a matter of fact, I'm going to put on my website the numbers that Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, HUD, mortgage-backed securities, and Zillow all had a chart, and it showed where rates are predicted to go in 2026.
Like they thought we might be high fives.
They're actually predicted to go up to 6.18 from 6.05 where they were when this was taken. So all you folks that are going, They're going to get better. And here's what I'm hearing. The Fed's going to cut the Fed rate with Trump's new guy in there. He's going to knock it down a half a point.
Not as much. Yeah.
Well, there is almost a no percent chance, like 4% chance.
Talking about June might be the first cut, I think. Yeah.
Maybe June. And then that's only like 8%. But the fact of the matter is I don't want them to cut the Fed rate anymore, because if they do, it's going to stimulate the economy. Then we're going to start seeing inflation come back, and that's going to erode interest rates even worse.
Think about, we've had a slowdown. These slowdowns, I've been through 4 of them in my 30 something years in real estate. They last about 3 to 5 years. The stock market's been great for the past 3 years, 4 years.
Oh yeah.
And after COVID. And so real estate, blah, we're seeing the battleship turn this last year. Yeah. And I can really say that, I was wrong. I'm the first one to admit. Last January, I said, oh, we got the Trumpster in there. Everything's great. Rates are going to plummet. Prices are going to skyrocket. Didn't happen. So it takes a while to turn that around. And now I'm starting to see it. And that's why I want to talk about inventory, Bruce. Our inventory is lower in Central Florida. And I just had a buyer. It was about actually one of your clients, radio listener, they started looking about 18 months ago and decided to pump the brakes on where they're at.
Right.
And literally he said, he goes, well, I'm not going to have a 7.25 rate, but the homes I was looking at for 5 are now 6. Right. So, and that's what you got to watch. And that's why I make real estate plans for people. So now's the right time. They want out of their house. They're busting at the seams. They want to change circumstances, and we're going to help them with that. I got
your number, that
407-352-8118 for your real estate plan. I'll be working this weekend.
Yep.
But inventory is very personal to a person, and when their plan is very personal. So what's your number, Bruce?
Yeah. Well, if you want to get pre-approved for your loan, you want a great lender, 35 years in the business. We have every loan program that you could possibly think of. We are quick at getting pre-approved. We're quick at closing, and we are a direct lender. We're in all 50 states. So our rates are extremely competitive. I think they're some of the best in the market. Don't get fooled by mortgage brokers out there. I'm seeing this on refinances, particularly for veterans, and I want to address that later in the show. But if you would like to talk to me, a Zoom meeting, a personal meeting, I will make myself available for you. 407-250-9144 or webringyouhome.com for the Loan Arranger.
All right. And I was diving back into inventory for a second, Bruce. It's very personal.
Yes, it is.
And this is where, I have investors out there. I got 3 on the hook right now, guys wanting to buy and everything. And a couple of them were from a year ago. They've been analyzing their spreadsheets, and they had certain zip codes they wanted to be in, and they wanted single family homes. And they're like, well, wait a minute, there's nothing below 500 anymore. I'm like, yeah. And their spreadsheets didn't have appreciation on them. And I told them this, and they were worried about cash flow. And it's a point where you got to just dive in and get it. And that's what's hard to tell. You don't know if you're going to appreciate 2%, 5%, what you're going to do, but it is a type of investment. It's a forced savings account. It's a great way to supplement your retirement, but we can help you on that, on what your best situation is for inventory and your personal situation when you want to buy or sell.
Absolutely. We've got a client right now, very seasoned client, and he wants to jump in the market and diversify his assets right now. So he's knee deep with his assets in the market, but now he realizes that I need to diversify into more real estate. And I think that's really smart. And I'm seeing a lot more people look at that, and the investors are not afraid of not having a great deal of cash flow because they see the future is right around the corner. Because as soon as these rates, if they do drop any more than they are, and I don't really know if they're going to, I don't see a lot of indicators that are going to see rates get much better than they are today, but you never know what could happen, right? I think that this is prime for looking at investment property, second home purchases, first-time home buyers. They are starting to come out and feeling better about the market right now. And I think that's really good for us. My applications are up this month. I'm seeing more clients with the golden handcuffs that already own property and have a 2.5 or 3.5% fixed rate, who are afraid to get in the market, are now starting to feel more comfortable with it. So call the Loan Arranger at 407-250-9144 or webringyouhome.com. On a $400,000 mortgage, interest rates are $250 a month better than they were a year and a half ago. $250 a month better. That's a lot of buying power right there.
Yep.
Yep.
All right. I want to talk real quick. How much time we got?
We got 4 minutes.
Okay. I want to dig into the plan is coming out, and this would be on the ballot, and I think on the ballot this year and take effect in 2027 about eliminating part of our property taxes.
Yes.
I think that would be a great thing for buyers. It's going to add to their buying power. It's going to really pay back that. They still don't have it hammered out on which part of, how they're going to do it, raise the sales tax.
Well, there's 12 bills in there, and the one DeSantis proposed, which is HJR 201, is really not even one of the ones that has passed. There's some other ones that have passed the House, but have to pass the Senate, or the opposite. I can't recall which one it was. But there are things that can be done. What we don't know yet is the replacement of the money. Now, we already know that doging some of these municipalities is going to replace some of the money. However, the state cannot enforce doges on municipalities. They cannot force that.
Yeah.
They're self-audited, which is a problem for me to begin with. However, I think if they can give the consumer a clear understanding as to where the replacement money will come from, then they'll get the votes. But right now, I'm feeling that too many people feel like there's just not enough answers. But here's the thing. If you don't vote for it, you're going to miss out. And even if we got the worst one, the one that did the least amount for us, you're still reducing your taxes by 40 to 50%. And I'll take that all day long. Would you?
Yeah.
Take 40 to 50%?
I think the buying power there, and that's going to, I mean, what's that do? $4,000, $400 a month. What is that? 50, 60,000 more in price?
Yes.
Or a savings of $400 a month on the payment you have now.
Absolutely. So, and if you're crying about affordability, then you better look for it. Now, if you go to my website, you go to my YouTube channel at Bruce Woodburn, the Lone Arranger, and you check me out, you'll see interviews that I've done with some experts on this subject. We cover several of the different bills that are being passed, and you should be more informed as to what's going on with that. So if you have questions, go to webringyouhome.com or go to my website at Bruce Woodburn, the Lone Arranger.
I really think also a genius thing to have.
Actually, I meant my YouTube page.
Yeah, and I think that's a genius thing to have on the midterm ballots to get people out too, because hopefully we take the midterms and keep Trump in power.
Well, this week,
Trump Florida, we don't have anything up in the air.
Union, and I thought knocked it out of the ballpark. Yes. I do think that it certainly did upset some Democrats, and then they commented about it. That Sandberg or whatever her name is, which was nothing. She's very good speaker, very articulate, but none of it was true.
Yeah, no, I just think the government's going the right way. Get off our backs. They're getting it off our backs. Get fiscally fit. All these things are going to help all the municipalities. It's funny. We don't have this problem in Florida, Bruce, but other states. I mean, that's why we got people coming here. I saw something. I've got the article here somewhere about we're getting, here it is, $4 million an hour, basically immigrating to Florida.
$4 million
an hour wealth migration. So the people moving here, the companies moving here, that's the rate the money's coming in here. So billions of dollars from companies that have moved here.
Love it.
Yeah. So really great article on that, on how we're doing better. And it's just funny to see how, California, people are leaving those states with high taxes.
Well, and if we can get some of these companies that are high, they pay high wages, like Space Coast. I mean, think about what that has done. What Elon Musk, whether you like him or not, doesn't matter to me. You got SpaceX, you got a United Space Alliance, you got Westinghouse, Litton, all those companies that are bringing valuable jobs to Florida. I absolutely love it. So, hey, give out your phone number one more time. We got to take a 5-minute break and discuss interest rates.
407-352-8118 or cleveloveland.com.
Yeah, or the Lone Arranger at 407-250-9144 or webringyouhome.com. Don't go anywhere, Cleve and I will be back in 5 minutes with more of the Loveland Report and the Lone Arranger Show. We're going to talk about interest rates and opportunities. Be right back.